He stopped at the doorway, his hand still on the handle, because the house no longer felt like his. Sunlight poured through the familiar windows, but the silence he expected was broken by a soft movement inside, small, careful, alive. After 3 years away, after grief, distance, and unfinished memories, he had returned to reclaim what remained of his life. Instead, he found proof that life had gone on without asking his permission. Before the story continues, take a moment. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that remind us of our shared humanity, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel Kindness Thread. Your support keeps stories like this alive. The house stood at the edge of a quiet valley, surrounded by green fields and distant hills glowing under clear daylight. It was the home he had built with his wife, brick by brick, dream by dream, before illness took her away and grief drove him out. He had left everything behind, furniture untouched, rooms locked, time frozen. He told himself he would return one day, but years passed before he found the strength. Now, standing there with a travel bag at his feet, he realized the house had been breathing without him. Inside, the air smelled faintly of soap and warm food. Curtains had been washed. The wooden table bore signs of daily meals. And near the kitchen doorway stood a woman, holding a baby close to her chest, her posture tense yet protective. Beside her was a little girl, no older than 6, clutching a worn doll, eyes wide with confusion and fear. The woman's face was pale, her hair tied back neatly, her clothes simple and faded but clean. She looked like someone who had learned to survive quietly. He felt anger rise first. This was his house. His sanctuary. The place where his wife's laughter still echoed in his memory. How could strangers live here? How could they touch what he had left untouched for years? His chest tightened, and his mind raced through questions of betrayal, theft, and loss. But then the woman spoke. Her voice was calm, almost fragile, and what she said froze him in place, not because of the words alone, but because of the weight behind them. She explained that she was a widow, that her husband had died in an accident nearly a year ago. With nowhere else to go, no family willing to help, and 2 small children depending on her, she had taken shelter in the abandoned house after months of sleeping in unsafe places. She said she never meant to steal anything, never claimed ownership. She cleaned, repaired what she could, and prayed every day that the owner would return so she could explain herself. Her words didn't sound like excuses. They sounded like confession mixed with exhaustion. The little girl tightened her grip on the doll. The baby shifted softly, unaware of the tension hanging in the sunlit room. And in that moment, the man felt something unexpected. His anger stumbled, collided with guilt, and cracked. He looked around again, this time with different eyes. The house wasn't vandalized or abused. It was cared for. The garden outside had been cleared. The broken fence he'd never fixed stood repaired. The place looked alive. More alive than it had ever been during his years of absence. The widow told him how she spent her days working small jobs, how she taught her daughter letters using old newspapers, how she warmed milk for the baby at dawn while sunlight crept through the same windows now illuminating the room. She spoke without drama, without tears, as if she had learned that survival required steadiness, not emotion. Yet every sentence carried quiet pain. He remembered his own nights of loss, sitting alone in rented rooms, avoiding memories because they hurt too much. He remembered how empty this house had felt after his wife died, how every corner accused him of what he had lost. He had run away because the silence was unbearable. And now, standing there, he realized this woman had walked straight into silence because she had no choice. The days that followed were awkward and careful. He didn't ask them to leave immediately. Instead, he took time to listen, to observe, to understand. In daylight, the house felt different with children's footsteps echoing through it. Laughter, soft, hesitant at first, returned to rooms long dormant. The little girl began greeting him shyly each morning. The baby smiled without knowing why. Slowly, his grief began to loosen its grip. He helped fix the roof properly, replaced broken boards, and cooked meals he hadn't cooked in years. The widow, in return, treated the house with deep respect, as if honoring not just the walls but the memories within them. She never crossed invisible boundaries, never tried to claim more than shelter and safety. Challenges remained. He struggled with resentment some nights, lying awake, haunted by the thought that someone else had lived in his memories. She struggled with fear, always ready to leave if asked, never fully at ease. Yet each sunrise softened those edges. Day by day, trust replaced tension. The turning point came one afternoon when he found the little girl sitting near an old photograph of his wife. Instead of fear, there was curiosity in her eyes. She said the woman in the picture looked kind. That single sentence broke something open inside him. He realized the house wasn't betraying his past, it was honoring it by sheltering new life. He made a decision then, one that surprised even himself. He offered them a place to stay permanently, not as intruders, but as family under the same roof. The widow tried to refuse at first, pride battling gratitude, but eventually she accepted with quiet tears. Not tears of weakness, but of relief. From that day, the house truly became a home again. Not the same as before, but fuller. Different. Stronger. Daylight filled the rooms with warmth, children's voices filled the air, and for the first time in years, the man felt rooted instead of lost. His grief didn't vanish, but it transformed, no longer a weight pulling him down, but a reminder of how much love could still exist. If this story has touched your heart even a little, please take a moment now. Like this video, share it with someone who believes in compassion, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement means more than you know. Before the ending, we have a special request. Please comment one word that describes how this story made you feel. Your words help build a community of empathy and kindness. In the end, he didn't just find a widow and 2 children living in his house. He found healing where he expected anger. He found purpose where he thought there was only loss. And under the clear daylight sky, in a home once frozen in grief, 4 lives slowly stitched themselves into one shared future, proving that sometimes, the greatest returns are not to places, but to the human heart.